Hi guys, Arjita here. Welcome to today's card video. Today I'm going to use this beautiful magical Christmas stamp set by Crafty Miraki. This is a beautiful illustration which has a lovely poinsettia and some nice foliage around, and I will be stamping this with some fade out ink on my Neenah Solar White cardstock. So I plan to do a no line coloring, but the medium for coloring will be Copic markers this time. So I just want to have a faint line, and this stamp pad is really good if you want to achieve this. This is by Ink on 3 and it's called the Fade Out or No Line Coloring ink. So this is a hybrid ink, and you can do alcohol coloring very alcohol marker coloring very nicely. So I placed it on my MISTI and then just stamped it, and I have these faint lines which will be a little difficult for you to see on the camera, but trust me, they're there. So I have this little swatch book, and I have made my combinations of all the Copic markers I like, and these are the markers which I'll be using to color the poinsettias and the little berries around it. So I usually love starting. I enjoy starting with the darker color and then blend it out with the lighter Copic markers. So I have three: a dark, medium, and a light red here, and I will start adding darkest so that the shadows are well defined, and then I just blend it out with the lighter colors. So this is the real-time speed, and I will fast forward the entire video so that you can see the entire coloring process. But right here you can see I'm painting these 2-3 petals in real time. So I hope you will enjoy the coloring process, and once that is done I'll get back and we'll talk about the card layout. So once the Copic coloring was done, I used a dark brown pencil to add more details. And that is it. This looks so beautiful. I'm going to use my sharp pair of scissors to fussy cut this image. And to add more details, I'm going to use a white gel pen to add highlights, and that makes it look so glossy and pretty. So I have made two of these bunches and I love them. You can arrange them in so many different ways on your card layout. But today I want to make it like a frame, and I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the stamp set and heat emboss the sentiment in golden embossing powder. So this creates a very elegant and beautiful card, and super simple to do. You can add a foiled sentiment in the middle, or you can also create a nice frame in a different layout. So I'm going to just check whether my sentiment fits well, and once I was sure of it, I am going to use the embossing powder. This is by Brutus Monroe, and I'm going to use this anti-static powder tool to firstly remove any static from my cardstock because I like crisp embossing. So I will just stamp it very gently. I don't like to squish or press my sentiment too hard because then you distort the writing, and you can just use it twice. You can just stamp it twice to have that super crisp, nice impression. But just do not press it, just a very light hand on top of it. So now I'm going to use the golden embossing powder by Brutus Monroe, and this is a very fine detail embossing powder. Looks beautiful, very gilded, and I totally like that. So I'm going to use an extra paper and dump this beautiful powder on top of the sentiment and very gently tap it because that gives it the best result. So I'm going to add the powder twice and just allow it to stick to the embossing ink and tap it gently before I set it with my heat embossing tool. So I have kept my heat embossing gun machine on a preheat, and once it is nicely hot, I'll just come onto this sentiment and melt the powder. So this is very beautiful. Every time this happens, I am in awe of this, and this makes any card look so glamorous and beautiful. So now I've adhered some double-sided tape on these colored pieces, and I'm going to use that because this dimension it gets is so beautiful and I totally like it. So this is it, and I just added a little more bling using one of the gemstones by Crafty Miraki, and it was amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this card, and if you did, and if you will recreate, please do not forget to share it with us. And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel to see more such videos in future. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you soon. Bye bye. Take care.